All right, so there's a lot going on in Tennessee right now. If you have not heard, the Voting Rights Act got shot down by the Supreme Court. So essentially, they're allowing discriminatory gerrymandering, especially in Tennessee. Basically, they redistricted the county that Memphis was in, and that is a majority black county, right? They're not going to be represented anymore. And if you know anything about Memphis, oh, Elon just built his data center for his AI company in Memphis, and it's horribly affecting the community there. So if a law that is protecting discrimination for voters gets shot down, it's gone. It's going to happen, right? Discrimination is going to happen. They're going to redraw these district lines so that black people are not represented, and that's exactly what happened in Memphis. So this is the current district. If I'm not mistaken, I've been told this is the only majority black county in the state of Tennessee. This is what it just got changed to, okay? They basically cut Memphis in half. Do we see that? Jigsawed this line right up the middle of Memphis. And they're stealing this county, TN8 and TN9. Just stole all these black voters. Are we seeing the problem with this? Are we seeing the problem? I hope so. All right, do we see this pocket right here? That pocket is now gone. And the east side of Memphis, all these voters are now gone. T8 is also a Republican district. So now T5, which just lost basically, I don't know, half, if not more, of their black voters. So if you don't see the problem with that, I don't know what else to tell you. You probably are just racist. I don't know. But not great for the people, that community in Memphis, Tennessee. Let's see what's happening on the ground in Memphis, Tennessee. As you can probably guess, not very happy. So this is a state legislator right here.
Secrecy to deny the public and representatives and elected officials the opportunity to understand what's really going on. What is deeply disturbing is that they have made a map to allow for one particular candidate that they want to win who has spewed racism and hate all across this state, particularly in Memphis. Senator Brent Taylor, they tried to draw a district for him to be able to run for Congress while diluting and depriving black people of their rights and accessibility to the vote and to choose candidates that we have a right to be able to choose based on fair maps.
As amended.
The entire crowd got kicked out. Of course, because we live in America, which is not a free country. You cannot protest peacefully. As that was just demonstrated, they just kicked all those people out, and now these fucking freaks can vote on it, and it's done.
This committee, and we'll move to calendar.
We were making the most fundamental decision that affects the people. Who gets to speak for them? And we were doing it in a room where the people were entirely absent.
And by breaking up our district into 3 different separate congressional districts, there's no way we can get fair representation. Our needs are nowhere near the same as a rural community and nowhere near the same as other parts of Tennessee. And that's why we have our own congressional district. And it's important that we have a Congress member who can advocate for the things that we need and the resources that we want. We have different issues around affordable housing, infrastructure. That's completely different from rural areas. We have issues around the economy and jobs. That's completely different from rural areas.
So this is where I kind of found out about this. Okay, so here is Justin Pearson. He is the representative for that district that is being affected. So you can understand maybe why he feels like this. By the way, I love all of this. I love how angry they are. We need more of this in this country. Obviously, it's not a good thing that they're angry, but I love the energy. I love the energy. More politicians need this type of energy.
What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? You stupid mother.
I mean, all police, they have a power complex, right? They're so tough behind that uniform and behind that badge. Mind you guys, this isn't some random guy. He is the state representative for that district. So also state rep Justice Jones burns the Confederate flag after this bill passed. It's sad that, you know, it's 2026 and we're still talking about Jim Crow laws. It's also just so ironic that MAGA Republicans, they always talk about how black people need to forget about slavery. They need to forget about segregation. You're free. You need to stop talking about it. Yet we're still talking about Jim Crow era gerrymandering. Insane. Now, lastly, Memphis is also home to Elon Musk's data center.
Last week, the NAACP sued Elon Musk's XAI, accusing the artificial intelligence company of polluting black neighborhoods with toxic emissions from its makeshift power plant fueling its data centers in Memphis. The lawsuit alleges XAI is violating the Clean Air Act by operating over 24 methane gas-burning turbines without legal permits.
I think Elon cares about that.
The massive XAI, Keyshawn Pearson, Executive Director of Memphis Community Against Pollution. Keyshawn, thanks so much for joining us again. We talked to you almost exactly a year ago. Can you talk about what is Colossus and Colossus 2? Talk about the power these data centers require and what kind of regulation there is.
Thank you, Amy, for having me back. It is good to be back. And we are, unfortunately, in an even worse position than we were a year ago. At this point, we now have two facilities, Colossus 1 and Colossus 2, that are being powered by illegal and unlawful methane gas turbines. This is unprecedented, the amount of pollution that we're being exposed to, nitrogen dioxide, formaldehyde, chemicals that we know cause cancer. And so in this moment, we have to do something similar to what Maine is doing, and we are demanding a moratorium of some sort come to fruition. But here in Memphis, we are unfortunately a cautionary tale about what will and possibly can happen if you don't have the right rules and guardrails in place. These projects specifically focus on a neighborhood, on a community, and on a region where you see an increased poverty level, and you also see an increased amount of black families. Just like all over the South, you see a concentration of AI data centers in communities that are largely black or marginalized. This is nothing new. This is Elon Musk.
Well, yeah, because Elon and all these fucking Republican freaks, they know if we do this in a black community, they're not going to have as much voting power. And that's another reason why they're trying to redistrict Memphis, and they did. Basically, you're picking on these poor black communities when they're already down. You're picking on them, and you're kicking them while they're down, basically. Because you know that they don't have as much power to speak up. And if they do, they get kicked out, like we just saw with Justin Pearson. It's sick, man. It's sick. And Elon and all these fucking Republican freaks, they know exactly what they're doing. It's strategic. So this is the problem with data centers. They are horrible for the environment, as many people know by now. They are often powered by water, and also their systems are cooled down by water. So they take up millions of gallons of water. And we're just getting started. That's the crazy part. We're just getting started. I have no idea how we're going to survive this if at the rate of these centers being built.
Of AI that are happening right now. So the AI that you're using, your social media apps, it doesn't exist in a cloud. It exists in a data center. What look like giant warehouses, but they really house all of these servers. One critical thing is the amount of electricity that these data centers require.
It's polluting the air, it's polluting the water, right? Because they don't give a fuck about protecting the environment. No, it's all about profit.
Because of data centers skyrocketing electricity demand, a lot of utilities are starting to say, we can't meet this demand without relying more and more on fossil fuels. So this is causing more and more air pollution. The power generation for these data centers could contribute 5.7 to 9.2 billion.
Destroy the ecosystem that you're building the center on. That's step number one, right? You're now using millions of gallons of water, right? So you could potentially have a water drought in this country. You're also polluting the air by using fossil fuels to power your data center. And then you're also polluting the water around the data center. This is all fucking terrible. We need to ban these centers before it is too late.
$1 billion of annual public health costs in numbers of hundreds of thousands of additional asthma cases that can be wheezing, tightness of the chest, difficulty breathing, and can be hundreds of additional deaths each year. And what is it like living next to these giant data centers? So these residents are living right next to these industrial facilities that are running 24/7, and they're making...
So again, we're talking about Memphis, right? They got Elon Musk's data center. And this is what they're experiencing.
How are data centers deepening the water crisis? So to power those data centers, you need a huge amount of electricity, and those servers get really hot, so you need something to cool them. Sometimes data centers are using water to cool their servers. They're finicky drinkers. They only really want to use drinking water. Data centers are competing directly with residents who are living in the desert where there's already not enough water to go around. Business Insider requested records of how much water every data center is using. We've got a lot of redacted records, and in 2 cases, cities actually sued us to prevent the release of those records.